Hey guys, how's it going? Author Daniel Coolbaugh here. I just wanted to talk a little bit today about one of my favorite series, The Iron Druid Chronicles by Kevin Hearne. And I've already done a series review. I also did a review on Hounded, and I just did a review on Hexed. So please check that out. I will also be doing reviews for the rest of the series. So you can also check out my review for Tricked, Trapped, Hunted, which was also one of my favorites, Staked, Shattered, Besieged. Okay, so and then I'll also be doing a review on Kevin's novellas, and then eventually his collection of short stories as well. So please make sure you check them out. So today I'm talking about Hammered, which is book 3 in the Iron Druid Chronicles, and I'm actually going to switch from reading from Amazon and actually read right from the back of my book. Kevin Stein. So Thor, the Norse god of thunder, is worse than a blowhard and a bully. He's ruined countless lives and killed scores of innocents. After centuries, Viking vampire Leif Helgerson is ready to get his vengeance, and he's asked his friend Atticus O'Sullivan, the last of the Druids, to help take down this Norse nightmare. One survival strategy has worked for Atticus for more than 2,000 years: stay away from the guy with the lightning bolts. But things are heating up in Atticus's home base of Tempe, Arizona. There's a vampire turf war brewing, and Russian demon hunters, who call themselves the Hammers of God, are running rampant. Despite multiple warnings and portents of dire consequences, Atticus and Leif journey to the Norse plane of Asgard, where they team up with a werewolf, a sorcerer, and an army of frost giants for an epic showdown against vicious Valkyries, angry gods, and the hammer-wielding Thor, Thunder Thug himself. It's really hard for me to pick a favorite book in the Iron Druid Chronicles, but if I had to pick a favorite book, I'd have to say it's Hammered. It's almost like an urban fantasy D&D adventure where they go to the Norse plane. If that does not make you buy and read and review this book and then read the rest of the series, I don't know what will, guys. But I have to say, though, in all seriousness, the events from Hounded lead into Hex, which I love that there's consequences for Atticus and the other secondary characters and main characters, as well as the world building and the other folks in it as well. So Kevin does an amazing job leading from Hounded to Hex, and Hexed really has a huge part to play because Atticus gets help from Leif in Hexed, and then that directly leads to him cashing in this favor. And Atticus doesn't want to cash in the favor to kill Thor, the God of Thunder. And the magic system and overall magic systems and world building has a lot to do with this book. And Kevin does some interesting stuff with the consequences of this and the effects and consequences of this book into the overall series, particularly into the next book, Tricked. And I think that's why I like it, because it's really like a linchpin with the rest of the overall arc. But I really loved Hounded and I loved Hexed. Hexed and Hammered, I think, are like back and forth. I go back and forth on them. And it really has a lot to do with them going to the Norse plane. We get to see, like, not just the Fae, the werewolves, and the vampires, but we really get to see what the Norse plane is like. And Kevin does an amazing job with research and does an amazing job, explaining his world building and really making you feel like you're there. And does a great job of, really making this a super tight story. Like I said in my last video, he doesn't waste words. And anytime you have a druid, a werewolf, a sorcerer, and an army of frost giants fighting Norse gods and Valkyries, like, I don't know what else you can do in urban fantasy. For me, I want to write a book like Hammered. Like, I want you to be like, the reader to be like me and just be like, I absolutely love this book. Like, there's nothing in this book that I did not absolutely love. And yeah, it's just one of those urban fantasy reads where I'm like, I love it. It's one of my favorite books of all time, not just urban fantasy, but of all time. For me, this might be, if I'm thinking about it now, this is definitely top 10 for me, like books of all time I've read, like my favorite books. So that's why you should read Hounded. That's why you should read Hexed. You should read Hammered, and then you should, come back to this comment section and tell me what you think. And as a matter of fact, don't forget to review all those books of Kevin's and everybody else that you're reading as well. I think he does an amazing job in this book of really making us feel the consequences of Atticus's actions, not just from the series, but from his life too, and these thousands of years. And it's interesting because I think he does a great job, this theme of like, Atticus could stay away and do his own thing. Atticus could, try and run away and start over. But because he, has a life that he wants to live in Hounded, he essentially gets pressured into fighting. And that's what ends up happening. And then because of that fight, it leads to issues in Hexed. And then because of having to deal with those issues in Hexed, it leads directly into Hammered. And then Hammered leads directly into Tricked. And then the rest of the overall arc for the series. And I've rarely found an author that can write like Kevin does with, like I said, like every decision that everybody makes, particularly the main character or characters, has a lot of weight to it. And man, oh man, does all of Atticus's actions have weight to them uh, once you get to the end of the series. And you can literally see the ties from this book from Hammered. So that's why I think you should read it. I feel you're really going to enjoy it if you love urban fantasy in particular. Kevin has some other series too that I'm about to start. I bought and then I'm about to start really soon. His Plague of Giants. He's got some really cool stuff. His Ink and Sigil. Actually, I'm trying to start really soon with that series. I'm actually hoping to start book 1 next month. Once I get some stuff wrapped up, it's going to be an audio/physical read for me, which I'm really excited about. And I can't wait. I met him years ago, so I can't wait to meet him again and get the updated paperbacks and get all those signed. He did have a collection of short stories come out recently. In the Iron Druid, universe. So definitely make sure you guys check those out. And yeah, I'm really, really excited to read the rest of them. I read the Purloined Poodle, his Oberon, his Meaty Mysteries, the Squirrel and the Train, and then I'm about to actually read. Let's see, his other one, Death and Honey. I did buy, I just haven't read it yet. And then there's Canines and Cocktails. So I can't wait to read those. And yeah, my friend just got done with To Kill the Farm Boy, who he wrote the Tales of Pell with Delilah S. Dawson. So he's got a lot of really cool stuff out there. Like I said, please make sure you're on the lookout for my reviews for the rest of the series, and then also be on the lookout for the Ink and Sigil reviews that I'll do for him as well. So please check out my other stuff, the other reviews. Please check out my own website. I got a lot of stuff coming out the next several months, in particular. In the next year is going to be wild for me in the urban fantasy community, and actually fantasy and probably sci-fi too, if I can get 2 short stories out there. But I hope you guys have a great rest today. Please don't forget to share and subscribe. And as always, happy reading, my friends. I'll see you guys later.